Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, once again for the 2,724th time, I think, in 6 years of streaming, it's showtime. Hi, guys. It's just me. And my latest character, Pelios the Old. Sorry, the One. You may have heard of Neo the One. Neo means new, Pelios means old. So, old the One as opposed to new the One. Following the advice of his successor, Neo, he'll be using guns. Lots of guns. And here we are. So I created him earlier. He currently has a limited number of abilities. You can see over here, pistols, brawl, taser dart, and his ninja reflexes, which are the best thing I could come up with for the for being the One. I mean, he can't fly, at least not yet. Doctor. Right. Squeaks to a halt. Introduce me to a new contact, please. I started streaming 6 years ago. This time, this day, same bat channel. And I started with this game. And I'm something of a traditionalist. Well, sometimes. So I felt we should do this again. Just as we have on this day, every other year since I started streaming. McCready, eh? I need to defeat a couple of thugs. Fortunately, there are a lot of thugs around. That's two. Officer Parks. Woo, 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 woo. City of Heroes is, I believe, my second most streamed game. Pretty sure. My most streamed is Guild Wars 2. And we have to defeat 4 more. And that's them taken care of. I have got an enhancement. No, not that kind of enhancement. Dirty minds. God. I can't take you guys anywhere. Let's manage. And let's go ahead and just drop this directly into pistols. Increase our damage by like 33% or something. Yep. That's the information about enhancements. New contact. I think I didn't click on that. Old school game. Old school UI. Hi, Coyote. I get another one? I did, but I have nowhere to put it. I mean, I could turn it temporarily into a 2, but... Into the mission we go. Aha. Well, before I forget, let us adjust our level to -1. Not that we're going to have any real problem. Okay. Might have a bit of a problem with that fat body, my friend. Good evening to you. And thank you very much. How does the evening find you? Hopefully everything's going delightfully for you. Still, I have to give you full credit. I mean, all but 5 months you've been around. It's been a beautiful day that you set foot in once. I went outside to get my pizzas. That's my one. Beat that for lazy. You can't. Where did the guys come from behind us? That's what I want to know. I think you'll probably agree, though, that if you're going to have to step foot out just once, stepping out to pick up your pizza, that's worth it. I'll note it's my first pizza since June 30th of last year. One of the things about losing weight, even if you're going to cheat, you've got to cheat relatively smartly. Oh, there's one more. Hi. And... Ba-ba-da-bum-bum. There it is. Mission complete. Level up. Awesome is as awesome does. That would be me. I'm the awesome one. But Fat Body's been here almost as long as I have. It's possible at some point he suffered some sort of childhood trauma. I don't know that that's the case. But it's hard to come up with any other logical reason for it. Perhaps I remind him of a relative who was unfriendly. Gave him crappy presents. Dane Bramage. It's funny you should mention Dane Bramage. When I was working in a game store, early 80s, the store had been bought out by a chain. It was still run by the same people, but some of their corporate policies came in, including one that require that we wear a name tag. And my name tag was Dane Bramage, just as you just typed it. Well, I had capital letters. And the number of times I had someone go, excuse me, Dane? Yeah, can you help me with this? Was very large. Also, because we were allowed to... They didn't have a rule saying it had to be our name on the tag. I worked with an Asian guy whose name tag said Desmond Tutu. And when people asked him about it, he would say his parents admired him, and so they named him after Desmond Tutu. You should always be careful with policies, lest you encounter malicious compliance. And when it comes to compliance, malicious is the compliance I comply with. I would like to train to a new level of power. Dual wield. I received Rocket Pack. Rocket Pack! I cannot, for the life of me, imagine any circumstance that I would really want to walk. D-Snuts? Well, I haven't gone that far down yet. I could create a character. It's probably already taken, frankly. Show me your wares. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hey, Senegal, how you doing? Yes. Actually, it'll probably get blocked. DM it to me. In other words, yes, it's okay for you to do it. It'll probably get eaten by the machine. But that is the machine, not me. You will not be in trouble for it because you're actually a really good guy. You've helped me in games. Experience boosters. Yes, I will take double XP, please. Oh, and not 1 hour will do. Let's go with 3. I probably won't be playing for 3, but let's go with 3 anyway. All right, who do I need to talk to now? Who was it again? My contact is Rick Davies. By the way, I finished, finished. I reached the 46th room in Blueprints for the 3rd time last night. Hi, guys. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome. I have a DM. Give me a sec. That would be malicious compliance. It is a picture of Christian Bale in full Batman attire saying, "My boss told me to dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Now I'm sitting in a disciplinary meeting dressed as Batman." Although malicious compliance, I suppose, is actually more so intending to get disciplined. In fact, that's kind of the entire objective. Oh, thank you very much. My character is the predecessor to Neo, the One. He is... Where is he? Where is he? Come on. Come on. He is Paleos, the One. Neo is Greek for new. Paleos is Greek for old, deprecated, shabby, and so that applies to me. A good-looking guy, though. Should have given him glasses. That's on me. I'll ask about available missions. Sure. I'll retrieve the sprocket piece from Sarah Peters. But first, let us increase the amount of damage dual wield does by 30%. Oh, yes. It's going to be a busy next few days around here. Well, except for tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be enjoying the after effects of my beverages tonight. On Tuesday, we get the new Guild Wars 2 content patch called Absolution. I'm not drinking Absolute, although that would be appropriate. And that will be Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll be working through that. And then Thursday, Game I've been waiting for quite a long while now. Dune Awakening. I have to defeat all the clockwork in the office. And I assume Dune Awakening will be taking up my stream time and a good chunk of my off-stream time for some while to come. Doodle-dee-doo. And we're almost there. You know, to be a superhero, you got to be in pretty good shape. And so, you know, you get a lot of aerobic exercise running around. The faint whirring and clanking of gears sets your teeth on edge. Guns. Lots of guns. As I believe Neo himself once said. My inspirations are full. That's not true. You guys are my inspirations, and I'm never full. That's cutting it pretty thick, huh? Seriously, for those of you who've been around for a while, Fat Body, who's been here almost as long as me, or Santa Claus, been here for a good while, thank you guys. I don't know if I'd do it if nobody was here, but it would certainly be less fun. Ba-ba-da-bum-bum. My shot interrupted the bump-a-da-bump triumph music. Oh well. Defeat all the robots in a warehouse. Warehouse? Their house. Pardon me, guys. Excuse me. Just go on beating up the people. When The Matrix Online came out, I tried to create a character and name him Paleo, but the name was taken. I actually played Matrix Online at launch because it was an MMO and I played them all. Well, almost all. I don't imagine most MMO players these days are aware there ever was a Matrix MMO. Didn't last long, it had some real issues. That's another level for me. Oh, hi. Did the NPCs rebel? I actually liked their idea behind it, which was in essence it was a three-sided standoff after the end of the third movie, is where it was logically placed, and the three sides were the Machine, Zion, and the neutrals, people like the Merovingian, and it obviously had an enormous narrative span that you could have, given, for instance, if you remember, the Merovingian had a couple of servants that were from an earlier version of the Matrix, and they could be killed by silver bullets because they were werewolves. So the ability to have set up any sort of narrative they wanted in sort of a mini little, world for a dungeon or a raid or new maps and stuff, that was all wide open. So it was a really, really broad palette they could create from. It wasn't around that long. I finished this. I'll exit. Also, one of the primary game systems was basically their version of bullet time. And I never got to the level where I got to use it, but it just seemed to me like that was a solo thing only, because it basically sort of froze time, where you and whatever you were fighting would be able to go through moves and counter moves and stuff. But it seemed to me, although I never actually got there, so I can't say for sure, it seemed to me that was not a system that would work at all in a multiplayer game. Fine in a single player game. Any available missions? Let's see. Okay, I'm going to be at more clockwork, guys. Defeat 5 clockwork. Don't worry, I'll do it right on time. Just like clockwork. All right. Clockwork generally reside on building tops and the like. Oh, well, not in this case, though. Those were gangsters, gangbangers, whatever you want to call them. Lots of gang dudes around. Rather a paucity of the clockwork. Maybe some of the back alleys will be a luckier place for me to look. No, that's more gang dudes. Back alleys and building tops is pretty much where you're going to find, generally, clockworks. That's a clockwork shooting at me. Where is he? Oh, these ones have decided to chase me. It's like a lunch that delivers itself. That's 2. Oh, that's a significantly tougher gang member than I would be happy to fight. I am a mere level 3, so... Those are a much higher level, but I should be able to handle them. All right, that's needing one more. vanished. Why? Why would they vanish like that? Just because I was going to come over and shoot them up? Well, that's just really rude and thoughtless of them. I'm going to have a word with the manager. I need to speak to the manager, please. I'd make a great Karen. I just don't have the hair for it. That was not successful. One more. Just one more stinking, bzzting little clockwork. Whoops. That was clockwork. And I got the tip I needed. I have received a tip. Just the tip. I promise. Just the tip. We didn't train up at 3. I've earned a badge. Exploration. Train me to a new level of power. I have 2 points. How about pistols and dual wield? Alright, contact. Return to this contact, alright. Paragon City Hall. Take me down to Paragon City where the villains are evil and have no pity. Defeat Widget and his guards. Oh, but Widget is such a cute name. Wait, wasn't he an Ewok, Widget? In which case, screw him. I'm going to put him down for sure. Was never a fan of the Ewoks. Originally, the plan was for that entire movie to take place on like the home planet of the Wookiees. That would have kicked ass. Ewoks? No. Just no. That's all. Just no. A cannon knight. A lieutenant mob. Now a defunct mob. Aha! I have defeated all the ones on this floor. Up, please. Second floor. Pet supplies, lingerie, power tools. Pardon me, I'm looking for Widget. Has anyone seen Widget? Oh, another cannon knight. This one's a harder hitter. Knockdown. We like knockdown effects. Not gonna lie. got an enhancement. Can't use. Can use. Sure. We'll slot that. Can also use. Sure. We'll slot that. The rule for those is 2 levels higher or 2 levels lower. Once they're 2 levels, more than 2 levels lower than you, they stop working at all. I'm not afraid of you and your electricity. Another level. Alright, we'll finish these guys up while we have our buff. Level up gives you a big buff. But I don't think we're going to get to widget in time. It's going to be wearing off pretty soon. Oh, yeah, maybe a couple of shots. Widget. No, that's not widget. It is widget. Okay. Sorry, widget. I feel a little bit bad about this, but not much bad about this. Learn the cause of the attack. Cause they're crazy machines? I hear the thrumming of a clicky. Might be multiple clickies. Nope, that's it. Victory is ours. Once again, good has triumphed over, well, they're not really evil. They're just sort of crazed mechanical machines that seemingly follow the demands of the Clockwork King, who is in essence an enormous robot. Hey, he'll finally accept my calls. I'll check the warehouse, sure, but first, I have to train up. And get my movement power. Granted, this isn't a bad movement power, but it's just not the real deal, you know. Now, theoretically, Neo could fly. But really, most of the time, all we saw him do was jump. So, super jump is called for. Leaping super jump. I now have super jump. And why would anyone not want freaking super jump? I have no idea. Let's see. Put that there, I think. That's a rocket flying, but again, flying. Flying is for losers when you've got super jump. You don't need anything else. Because super jump is the right answer to all questions. Here we go. That's super jump, yeah. In we go. You hear the telltale sound of clockwork gears. This must be their base of operations. Not for long. Getting off a lot of cannon knights, I gotta say. Defeat all robots in the warehouse. So for the record, I hate kill all missions in every game in the history of computers. They always suck. They show a paucity of imagination and are nothing but a pain in the ass, and not uncommonly worse if they bug out. Let me take a quick knee, because these guys are lieutenants. And lieutenant mobs not only have more hit points, they hit a lot harder than the regular sort of henchman level mobs. I hear the faint thrumming of a glowy. Over here? No. There must be another. Oh, there it is. These ones probably are just giving rewards of the currency. But I'm currently set for double XP, so I don't get the currency rewards. Because I'm getting the double XP, yo. Oh. That did not endear you to me, oh Sprocket. Oh, come on. It's an old school game. And in a lot of old school games, you can miss. Most games have deprecated that feature. Used to be, say, in WoW, the first thing you wanted to do when your character reached the level cap, in terms of gearing, specific gearing as opposed to general gearing, was you wanted to get to, oh my god, so many lieutenants. You wanted to get to the hit cap to make sure you couldn't miss. And in a game like this, you definitely want to be able to hit the hit cap as much as you can. Another level, especially for stuff like oh, come on. Oh my god, seriously? For things like crowd control. You don't want to miss a CC that you need. For instance, one of my favorite character types is a dark destroyer. Sorry, a dark defender. But the heal requires you to hit a mob with the CC. And so if you're fighting and you need a heal and your heal misses, bad things happen to you. Whoop, 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 whoop. It's a sprocket. Now is the time of sprockets, then we dance. That's an old guy TV reference. Didn't see you there, sneaky little sprocket. Can't outrun my bullets. Duck this. In the words of a famous philosopher. Victory is mine. Nice to see me on. Well, I'm glad you can. Bit of home on the road. Yeah. I've done my bit of traveling in the past for work. A mixed bag. Sometimes it was great, but not all the time. The trips to Japan, a lot of work, but very cool. And where were we? Contact. All right, that's it for him, I guess. Did we hit 4? 5? We're at 5. 5. Train to a new level of power. Well, my power is very, very powerful. I worked in IT. I was an IT engineer, mostly a generalist. So I did pretty much everything except networking stuff. I never did much on the networking end. But everything from systems programming, phone switches, phone punch downs in the phone closet, server setups, backups, worked on everything from PCs and Macintoshes to a Cray supercomputer. So a very broad but not necessarily especially deep IT career. So I wasn't great in roles where I was in a big company. I was great in roles where I was one of between 2 and 4 IT people in the whole company, where generalists are a lot more valuable. And it's possible that once upon a time, this was my name tag. It actually was my name tag. Oh, Trishot. She's so annoying. I will be right back as my cup runneth under. It's not as impressive as it sounds like. Although I worked with some incredibly impressive and even well-known people. And I'm back. The trips to Japan we were setting up a Japan office. And so we needed someone on our end to set up the phone switch so that basically they could dial locally, just hit 4 digits and get our phone in Sunnyvale? Yeah, it was Sunnyvale. All right, we will now meet her gang of incompetents. Let's see, famous people I worked with. Pierre Omidyar, the guy who started eBay. Initially, it was kept under his desk at work. A desk that I crawled around underneath a number of times when we were having problems. So I crawled around next to all of eBay. It was on a single computer. Megan Smith, former Chief Information Officer of the United States. Worked with her. She was Chief Information Officer of the United States under Obama, I think. That was when I was at a company called General Magic. And General Magic has a lot of really well-known tech people and engineers working there. Famously had the hardest interview in Silicon Valley, at least at the time. Mind you, I didn't even have to interview for it because I was initially brought on as contract help in IT by a former boss. And eventually, after working there for like 6 months, they all decided I was good enough and they just offered me the job. Go me. All right. Oh, I have to talk to Twin Shot. Why? She's so annoying. I'm not even going to go through her dialogue for you because she's so annoying. Hi, Proton. God damn it. And now I have to talk to Flambeau, who's not as annoying as Twin Shot, but much, much stupider. Dillo. Upstairs, I think. Thank you, fat body. On the other hand, it is appropriate that it's Comic Sans. Alright, he's done, and return to the entrance because I go to these guys' headquarters, I think 4 times, and every single time it's either invaded or already, it is either invaded while I'm there or has already been invaded. They're like the worst supergroup in the world. Webbed, so I'm slowed. talk to Grim. Hi, Grim. Who's a good doggy? You're a good doggy. And twin shot again. So this entire storyline was essentially meant as sort of a late added tutorial to tell you about some of the places and things in the game. Something that was somewhat needed. I mean, we are talking about an older school game. They were not as welcoming, shall we say, as games are expected to be these days. A lot of time it was, there you go, have fun. But, yep, have fun. But I want to know, have fun. Where are we? We are 5.5. All right, talk to Ms. Liberty, right? And then we're off to the second map. She's the trainer. And we're off to, they teach us about the monorail. Just like at Disneyland. Monorail was kind of a big deal on my first trip to Disneyland, which occurred before, I assume, almost all of you were born. One of the big thrills of my young life was going to Disneyland, not just going to Disneyland. But getting to watch the moon landings while we were there. The first moon landing. I need to talk to Blue Steel. So that tells you when I was in Disneyland for the first time. July of '69. The 20th, if memory serves. Ms. Liberty sent me, okay, I'll beat up some of your Skull's goons. Went to Disneyland in '74 and again in '82. Last time I went was high school. We had a high school trip there when I was a senior. So that'd have been 77 or 78. Three down, 7 to go. It's a skull chopper. Get to the chopper. Five down, 5 to go. My first trip there as a kid, I think it was shortly before the Haunted Mansion opened up. So I was really disappointed about that. But again, I may be misremembering. The past as we remember it is not always the past we actually experienced. Well, these guys... Oh, these were freaks. Well, that's not helpful to me. I don't need them. I need to murder these guys. I need to catch these guys. I need to apprehend. There we go. There we are. 3 to go. I can beat these guys. They're just yellows. Yellow regular mobs means they're 1 level higher than me. Tip found. The character a waiter? No. My character is actually a moel. That's a guy who performs circumcisions. Professional hazard, yeah. Well, I got a lot of really good at Jewish jokes from my Jewish friends over the years. By which I mean jokes that are funny to Jewish people, not funny at the expense of. Did I hit a new level? I don't think I did. That was completed, was it not? Defeat skulls. Return to contact. Okay. Oh, I guess I have to return to Twin Shot Caller. Ah, there we go. Distress call. Oh, yep. See? See? It's been invaded again. Their goddamn base has been invaded again. These people are the worst superheroes in the world. Anytime now. Thank you. All right, and we're back to their awesome freaking base. It's not actually awesome. Just try to be clear about that. They are the worst superheroes in the world. Now on the villain side, you get a different sort of storyline when you're doing their equivalent of the tutorial quest. Over there, it's a contest between you and 4 other villains to be the most villainous of the villains. That's my level. Oh God. CC is just the worst. It's always the worst in every game. Yeah, and it's Twin Shot again. Hi, yeah, your base has been invaded and you're still playing stupid games with me, you moron. I have gotten my first piece of invention salvage. Wouldn't want to help out here, Twin Shot, or anything, would you? Thanks, Dillo. You just stand there and pretend to be of significance to anyone. Hey, Twin Shot showed up and actually did something useful. Somebody alert the media. And as soon as the webs are off, I can move again. What the shit is... Alright, travel to the 3rd floor. Look at that, they're actually being helpful. Who'da thunk it? Okay, Proton. What's the code? Alpha 1 Prime. Bum. I do good work. If I do say so myself, and obviously I do because I just did. Back to Twin Shot. Oh, I can call her. But first... Where am I? Oh, there it is. We need to train up. Level 6, get another skill, more damages, more bullets, more guns. Guns. Hi, Ms. Liberty. You're looking good tonight. Have you lost a little weight? Changed your hair? Well, let's see. We've got empty clips. Empty the clips of both of your pistols in an arc of suppression fire. Can blast multiple foes in the affected cone area and has a small chance of knocking some foes down. Affected targets will have their defense reduced slightly, as well if standard ammo is equipped. Changing the ammo type with swap ammo will also change the secondary effect. We will be getting swap ammo relatively soon, but right now, empty clips. We need more bullets. We need to be able to shoot more bullets. It's pretty simple, really. Hi there. How are you doing? Nice outfit. Looks good on you. Yeah. Cleared out all of that. I need to talk to Proton again. And again, this is part of the sort of the tutorial that they added later in the game. Learn about, for instance, you can create supergroups there. Next up, we go to the hospital, which is where you end up if you are, quote unquote, well, if you're defeated. You're not killed. You're defeated, and your emergency beacon transponder thing teleports you to the hospital. Where you'll be able to luxuriate in your newly found good health while also luxuriating in experience debt. Less so here, but in live it used to be a significant problem if you died a whole bunch. Basically, you earn experience debt if you're defeated, and you get only half XP, with the other half going to paying off your XP debt. That was what they had as a death penalty. Hi, Graham. I just found Graham. Why are we... Blah, 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 blah. Flambeau at the consignment house. This is the equivalent of the auction house that they added later in the game. Initially, there was no loot in the game of any kind, except inspirations here, which are temporary buffs. Originally, that was all there was. But later on, they added salvage, which you can use to create enhancements. Think of that. A completely non-loot driven game. A game essentially with no loot at all. Alright. Clue found. And some of you say I don't have a clue. You're not wrong. It's just rude to say it to an old man. Your inner goblin dies a little bit at the thought. Yeah, well, I mean, I think the answer they found is a very good one. The enhancements that you can get for improving your skills and whatnot, being able to construct the ones you want, basically giving them a loot mechanic to a game that previously didn't have one. Hold on. Pardon me, I had to sneeze. Was cleverly done without being intrusive. They found a good answer to the, well, players kind of expect and want some kind of loot for their efforts. We are off to Manticore's mansion. Manticore is Batman if Batman was like Tony Stark and advertised who he was. He's a super rich dude with a mansion who fights crime. And everyone knows who he is. Stop with the stupid webs. It's not funny, okay? I hate their webs so much. We knocked each other down. That's a nice old school gaming mechanic. Originally in WoW, for instance, one of the things they had to recreate for WoW Classic was the way it used to work was the clients would send their commands to the server, and the server would batch them up and then execute a bunch at the same time. So what could happen is, and they had to specifically code to recreate this in the modern WoW engine on the server side, was to allow people for two warriors to both use their leap skill and to go, "Yar, boing," and swap places. Because that's the way it worked in original. And so that's what they tried to originally recreate for WoW Classic. I believe they eventually rolled that out, saying, making it true to the original was good, but frankly, that system kind of sucks. I think it is funny, though. Sit down, son. He's not actually my son. We're not related, as far as I know. That's the kind of thing developers have to deal with when the fans just say, well, just bring back the old version. It ain't always that easy, kiddo. Why weren't you hitting that guy too? He's bad. Every bit as bad as the other bad guy. No one knows what it's like to be the bad man. To be the sad man. behind blue eyes. Behind blue eyes. I didn't mean to scare any of the kids. Hey, they hit everybody that time. How nice. Got them all again. Who doesn't like getting them all? Collect them all. Amaze your friends. He tried to get away. But my bullets are faster than his feetsies. It's important, I think, when you want to defeat a bad guy, that you don't just shoot him, but that you spin around to shoot him. You know? For whatever reason, Fat Body, and I don't know why, in the Restream web client, that picture shows up the way it normally shows up as a tiny little, yay big picture. But in the Streamlabs client, it shows up about bigger than postage stamp size. How does it look in the Twitch client? It's small there too. Anyway. Because that's just one handsome looking emote you have there, sir. I admire that. Not sure that's entirely humble, but it's okay. I deserve it. Right, am I going? Okay, we're fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. Sit down, punk. My cup's empty again. I have to do something about that very, very, very soon. Oh, I stepped in the water. Oh my God, my boots are going to be squishy. I hate squishy boots. Come on, come on. Heal just a little. Come on, you can do it. Now, fine. Stop hitting me with your really big hammer. Nobody's impressed by the size of your hammer, sir. take a quick knee, because I'm so tired. Aha! That's another level. I'm now level 7. We've got the buff. We want to keep moving. Keep shooting. When you level up, you get a nice set of buffs for like a minute. Oh, look at the man with the big hammer. Not impressed, loser. Aha! But you see, it was all a fake. The Manticore needed to know that I was a good guy. Because there's a problem with the supergroup I've been working with. Somebody over there is not who they appear to be. These were his workers. I have received my first merit reward. That's because I am very meritable. We'll now go back to Twin Shot, and we'll get a big chunk of XP for finishing out this arc. Like half a level. Avoid the water so we don't get the squishy boots again. My Twin Shot. That was actually closer to 3/4 of a level. We'll train up. Get to there. Don't play for a while, you forget what buttons you're looking for. Shauna Stockwell's looking for heroes. She needs a hero. Atlas City, we've got Rick Davies, Detective Becktrees, Shauna Stockwell. Oh, I can call her. The Skulls, the Separadine Ring. I've played through this a few times. God, Super Jump is just such a fun movement skill. Off to King's Row, and I'm AFK a sec, because my cup runneth under. And I even remembered this time. Turn off the AFK. Talk to Genevieve Sanders. Genevieve. I'll go talk to Genevieve. Let's make sure we do have ourselves set at the appropriate notoriety level. Confluence just read me my fortune and gave me a temporary power. Solid name for a hero, Confluence. It can be tough to find a good name for your heroes because the namespace is pretty freaking crowded. I have to defeat 10 skulls. Oh, they won't even know what hit them. Actually, they'll know what hit them. It'll be bullets. Yes, I'd rather not go through yellows. They take so much time. It's much more time efficient to perforate white mods. As in the difficulty, not the hue. Just beating up some skulls. Don't worry. These bullets are, they're plastic. No one is actually killed by me while I'm shooting them full of holes. Probably. Okay, maybe a little bit. Still, I am the good guy. These guys are all controlled by the machine in the Matrix. So I'm the good guy. What can I say? The third Matrix film was on last night, and I watched it. I wanted to do some bullet foo. I now need to pay Toothbreaker Jones a visit. Just like Lotro, no one ever actually dies. Yeah, they're just demoralized and defeated and run away. Exactly. You don't even have hit points in Lord of the Rings Online. You have morale. It's possible the orcs, though. Yeah, they might actually be dying. But never your characters. Absolutely not. Ow. Okay. Stop with the sledgehammers. Alright, we'll give myself a little bit of time to, like, metaphorically reload our guns. Oh boy. Well, he hit me, but at least he didn't knock me down. That's another level for me! Sorry, I just get excited. I get worked up, you know. You know how it is. Basically, in no game ever does leveling get old. Have you noticed? Hi! Coming to a gunfight with an axe. Up, please. The problem is they don't spin around when they shoot, really. I think they'd be much more accurate if they spun around. You know, did some sort of gun kata, if you're familiar with the... oh, what was the name of the movie? It had Christian Bale in it. And there was a martial art using pistols. A really sort of silly idea, but it worked in the movie. I own the damn thing. It's like 2 feet to my right. I think it began with a P. I have to check. Hold on. Seeing it. Didn't begin with a P. That's a problem. My brain gets an idea in its head about something that I'm trying to remember, and it gets stuck on that idea and it can't get past it. I can't come up with the name of that movie, and it's going to drive me crazy. Granted, that's not like a big trip, driving me crazy. Not going to require a whole lot of work. Missed me. It's upstairs. I hear the thrumming. And there's Toothbreaker Jones. Let's speed things up a little. We'll give ourselves a little defense. Hi, TBJ. Bum. Now I have to check. Equilibrium was the name of the movie, which clearly does begin with a P. If you've suffered a recent stroke. Contact, we'll call her. Ask about available missions. Oh, ask about available missions. Talk to your source. Leave, let us. Got a train, I believe. You're due for a little more training. Because we hit our level. We'll talk to Blue Steel. I wonder if the developer who came up with the name developed this character at Cryptic at the time. How he felt when Ben Stiller brought out Blue Steel as the name of Zoolander's trademark move. Train me up. Suppressive fire. Now, swap ammo. By purchasing this power, you'll be granted cryo ammunition, incendiary ammunition, or ammunition, and chemical ammunition toggles. Activating these toggles will change your secondary damage type on most dual pistol attacks from lethal, standard rounds, to cold, fire, or toxic. These toggles are mutually exclusive and only one can be active at a time. If no swap ammo toggles are active, the player will revert to standard ammunition. It's fun. Right now I have ninja reflexes already, which enables me to be more evasive to melee attacks since I am at range. Danger sense will do similarly for ranged and area of effect attacks. So we're going to add, what's Shinobi Iri? The ninjutsu techniques of silent movement and avoidance, granting you stealth and defense against all positional attacks. While stealth to the strength of your next attack will be more powerful, however, you can only attempt this after spending 8 seconds without attacking. Well, I mean, Neo didn't really use any sort of stealth attacks. And the character's kind of based on Neo. We'll go with danger sense. There we go. I now have 2 toggles going at all times, making them difficult for me to hit. Because, what are you saying? I can dodge bullets? No, Neo. I'm saying when you're ready, you won't have to. Detective Becktrees. Where's Detective Becktrees? And we're coming in for our landing. Touchdown! The crowd goes wild. Okay, the crowd goes mild, but it's the thought that counts. Becktrees, Becktrees. Nice tie. By the way, if you're curious about why his face looks like he's wearing a nylon mask, I am using what was a beta technology in the game when the game was shut down. I am using the graphics as set for cell shading, and it's not really supported, but it's in the game, and I just happen to prefer it. But it does do this sometimes with characters' faces in their portraits. Also, sometimes they'll have no face at all. Sometimes that's an improvement. All right, I now have a police radio. So we can click on the radio. Mission Incision has issued a direct threat against Palaios the One. That's me. Police band calls it a threat, but you know it's a challenge. Well, if Incision wants a fight, well, you're ready to give him one. Sure. Let's go with that. Defeat Incision and his guards. Oh, he's going down. He's so going down. Stop. Stop. Oh, God, no. Incision. Oh, no. First, it's in the sewers, which is never good. Second, incision. Sounds like it's one of the Vasilok. I hate the Vasilok. They are the worst group of villains to fight against at low levels. Because they have poison attacks. That, unlike most other attacks, they continue to hurt after the mobs are already dead. Like that. The puke. He puked on. You get a bunch of them puking on you and it's bad. We also have an embalmed cadaver. You have to be careful of them because they'll run up to you and explode. They're just the worst. We hate them so much. Alright, fine. I'll take a knee for a second. Get my missing health back. Fine. Really, who barfs on people? I mean, obviously the answer is Vasilok. But in my opinion, they are by far the most dangerous of the low-level enemy types. And I do not consider that to be an overly controversial statement. Again with the puking. I mean, it could be worse. Instead of puking, they could poop on you. I think that'd be worse. Or perhaps even worse, a manifestation of the act of human love. That'd be pretty bad. So looking for Incision and his guards. And frankly, it's not just that they puke, it's this awful long-range puke. mean, it's projectile vomiting with the emphasis on projectile. Is that, there's incision. All right. Make sure everything's off cooldown. We'll go ahead and make ourselves angry and sturdy. He's got radiation. He didn't really need radiation, in my opinion. He was fine without. Alright, we need to kill his guards. He did peel off a good chunk of my health. You know if that means it's a kill-all or if this will be enough. No, probably a kill-all. God, I hate kill-all missions. Not just because they're annoying and they take time and stuff, but it can take forever to find the missing guy. And there's always at least one missing guy. There we go, mission complete. Victorious once again. The whole good triumphing over evil thing, you know. The superhero over the supervillain. Sure, well, you know, it's a bit of a gimme, but I need to talk to Genevieve again. This storyline has a couple of tough missions, the last one in particular, where you don't want to start it on level, because the boss at the end, if you're fighting him on level, will almost certainly kick your ass. Genevieve? Oh no, sorry, this is Shauna. Wait, did I not? Oh, I have to talk to Genevieve. Sorry, my bad. Genevieve. I do find it a little odd, most particularly after the significant success that, you know, this server has had, or these servers, because they're up to 6, I think. Shut down this paradigm we're in. This one is a trap, and when it works correctly, it's fine, but sometimes it bugs out. That's less fine. That we haven't had any more superhero games. Was it Cryptic was working on one? No. A Marvel game was being worked on and was canceled like, what, 3 or 4 years ago. It was being worked on by, not Standing Stone. The guys who used to be SOE. Used to be Sony Online Entertainment. Now they're Daybreak Games. It is so weird to me that they got partway through and killed a project with the Marvel game license on it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Even if it was no good, it probably would have made them a good chunk of money. The only thing I can think of is Marvel paid them to drop the game. Originally, when City of Heroes came out, Marvel sued them. Their claim was that people were making Marvel heroes in-game, and they brought evidence of that into court. unfortunately for them, Cryptic proved that Marvel were the guys creating those characters in the game, and that it wasn't the other players. And the judge all but literally laughed Marvel out of the court. Marvel settled. A couple of years later, they licensed the Marvel IP to the City of Heroes team. And they were working on it, and at some point, Marvel yoinked the license away. And that game, this was after they had spun off City of Heroes. In fact, that's the reason they spun off City of Heroes, is so they could make the Marvel game. That game, when Marvel yoinked the license, for whatever reason, I don't think I've ever heard, that game, they bought the license, I think, or at least licensed the game for Champions, which was a pencil and paper RPG like Dungeons and Dragons. And so they, I believe, bought the license for that and turned the game that they'd been working on, Marvel Heroes, into Champions Online. And then later, DCUO came along, sadly with a console focus, which was maybe the right decision monetarily, but as a PC gamer, yeah, it wasn't that big on. Alright, so we're going to trigger an ambush. They'll come in waves. But the bug that can happen is a couple of the waves get stuck. And then they all come together. That's bad. Where the skulls went. Where's the... There's like supposed to be a Saparadine lab here somewhere. I'm not seeing it. Check for where they went. Did I miss a hot spot? A clicky or something? I don't think so. Yeah, I clicked on that. But I am surprised that we haven't had any more MMOs for superheroes. I would not say it is an overserved potential audience. Basically, it's the 3 games. Where's the Saparadine lab? There it is. There it is. I can hear it now and see it flashing. I've never seen it, I think, tucked into one of these bays like this. It's a trap. Of course it is. That didn't help. Missing my first shot clean. I took an accuracy goddamn buff. That is an awful lot of misses for a guy with an accuracy buff. It's a bone, Daddy. I have to defeat mandible and maxilla. If you're not aware of it, that's the lower jawbone and the upper jawbone. The things I remember from junior high school. I had an incredible science teacher in junior high, named Mr. Snow. And the things we had to do, we learned most of the names of the large muscle groups. We learned all the bones in the body and so on and so forth. The only time I was ever any good at memorization was for that class for whatever reason. And I still remember. Most of it, anyway. Wait, what the hell happened to my targeting? How did I close down the targeting? Where is it? Tray, power, nav, map, vision, target. How the hell did I manage that? Alright, we want to kill Maxilla first. She's the more dangerous of the two. They have darkness skills. Darkness is very powerful because it reduces the accuracy of the things it hits. It's one of my favorites. It's very good for solo. In that it's a passive damage preventative. There we go, and it's done. Bop-a-da-bump, bump. Yeah, you heard me. I bumped. Genevieve, you set me up. No, I didn't know. I didn't know. Okay, I'll believe you. Because I'm a superhero and I'm gullible. Back to Shauna Stockwell. Super jump. Even after all these years, it's never gotten old. Clue found. Find Emily Rodriguez. Rodriguez. Back to Alice Park. Because I think I'm going to call it an evening. Because I need to Atlas park my carcass into the gentleman's room. I want to thank you guys very much for hanging out tonight. But not just tonight. For those of you who've been around for any length of time, including tonight. In the last 6 years, thank you very much. I genuinely do appreciate having you around. Streaming is good, but it's much better when there are people out there. So, I want to thank you again for hanging out tonight and any part of the last 6 years. I really do appreciate it. I will not be back tomorrow. I will be back on Tuesday for the Guild Wars 2 expansion. Thanks for streaming. You greatly enjoy the dinner entertainment. Thank you. That's very, very flattering. Thank you, Fat Body. Dune soon. Tuesday, Guild Wars 2, the final content chapter for the Janthir Wilds expansion. It's called Absolution. I'm playing that on Tuesday and Wednesday. That'll be more than enough, I expect, to get through the story and run around in the map a bunch. Wednesday, probably starting or much earlier in the day, although not at launch time, because launch time is 7 a.m. my time, I think, and screw that. On Thursday, as Fat Body has mentioned, Dune Awakening. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. I enjoyed the beta. I'll probably be streaming and playing it a lot. Again, thank you guys for hanging out tonight and for the last 6 years. I'm back in a couple of days. Take care and ciao for now.